Crypto has been cooked for 5 years. Are we destined for a big revenge pump? I think we are. This is the founder of Ethereum. Look at him. Look at those glasses. Look at that package. Look at the cute hippo. Lord Vitalik over there. Ethereum, friends, has $160 billion of stablecoins. Tom Lee clips 100,000 ETH buys. He's continuously DCA buying. He's bought now 5 million Ethereum. 5 million Ethereum out of about 120 million, which is a freaking metric ton load. Jeez. My gosh. We also know the Ethereum BTC ratio is very low. Very low. Ethereum is about 3% of Bitcoin's price now. 3. It used to be 16. When the Ethereum spot ETF launched, it was 5.5. Right now it's near 3-ish. You know what I mean? We need some big pumperoonies, don't we? Most crypto influencers, they're short and bearish on Ethereum. They expect it to crash to $500 redoonies. Could happen. We're going to be DCA buying every single week. $10 redoonies we insert. They all say it's not too late to sell your Ethereum. It's not too late to sell. That's what everyone is saying. Retail are short, retail are out. Retail love flocking to other opinions which share the same idea that they are out and they are hoping for much lower. Master Friend, pronounced aliens. Fun to see, dude. They really love our Ponzi's, don't they? The Ethereum Foundation literally dumping on there. Space options. At least it wasn't a market dump. Pulse chain is better than ETH. So this is actually a great video, friends, because remember, even Vitalik, it's funny. Vitalik is actually dumping on Tom Lee, crowd favorite, via OTC, which is just one of the funniest outcomes of all. But this is just how the game works, friends. You know, like all the Bitcoin miners, they're dumping on everyone. They go out on television and say, oh yeah, Bitcoin's amazing. It's gone to $1 million. And they're all dumping hard as well. So there's a lot of things we have to navigate in crypto, friends. A lot of new concepts as well. Like, for example, we saw this, friends, Litecoin experiencing a coordinated attack on the chain, resulted in some blocks reorganizing. So, you know, 10 years ago when crypto was new and actually went up, you know, everyone was learning about how these networks work, how the blockchain works, how do these things get reorganized, because the longest chain is meant to be the correct chain, the one that wins. And they do double spending, so they spend money in 2 places at once, etc. And I think if the Litecoin chain gets attacked, we are all going to grab our spoons and we're going to freaking defend it ourselves. Don't tell my neighbor. Or maybe you do tell him. My neighbor owns Litecoin. Of course, friends, it's just one of those coins that's just never going away. Now, something interesting about Litecoin is just how, you know, it's gone nowhere for 10 years, literally 10 years. So, friends, Litecoin is still the same price as it was in the year 2013, which is actually wild. Charlie Lee dumped it here, the founder. He dumped it here. It's actually gone nowhere all this time. Now, you might say, but sorry, why would you even believe that this thing's ever going to go up? Well, this is just the thing, friends. When you have gone absolutely nowhere in 10 years, you're cheap, dude. You're cheap. Okay, there's literally, who else is owning this? It's only the most hardest of hardcore believers. They're literally never selling, dude. You've been here for 10 years. Think about it, like all the pump fun, all the LA vape cabal, all the manias, all the Dogecoin meme coins, all the other narratives that came out, it did not dilute the people left there. You know, I'm not saying to touch this stuff. I'm just saying like it would be really, really cheap. So I would personally, if I had just money to slosh around, I'd be DCA buying into it. I would. You know, a lot of people are saying as well that, you know, it's just going to be Bitcoin that wins. I don't think so, dude. How can it be just Bitcoin that wins? What is everyone even using it for? You know. Also, speaking of Bitcoin, friends, remember Michael Saylor? He did this like this shocking admission. So I have this picture here, Michael Chad Saylor, and I've written here. He said it. He actually said it. So Michael Saylor said the Bitcoin price is being manipulated through the Bitcoin ETFs. Here's Michael Saylor with Natalie Brunell. Remember Nat, friends? Nat cursed us because Nat went on to Fox News around August 2025. Do you remember? And she says, oh, this is the easiest chart in the world. Bitcoin goes up with global liquidity. And the moment she said that, it diverged. It's like they're watching. They are watching. The deep state's watching. Interesting. Michael Saylor, though, it's the second time he mentioned the manipulation. You have to be careful. The deep state does not want popular people successfully red-pilling the world. Friendly reminder, remember, friends, from the Matrix, the blue pill, if you take the blue, there's a blue pill and a red pill. If you take the blue pill, you go back to your normie cuck life. You drink your fluoride, you get golden showered by the chemtrails, you give testosterone to your daughter, you put a pink dress on your son and tell him that, you know, you're not a man or a boy anymore. Tomorrow you're going to be a turtle. And then after that, you're going to be a lamp. And after that, you're going to be a doorknob. Okay? This is gender confusion stuff. That's all these goy slop, psyopsing things. Don't ask the deep questions. They you know, just all these stuff. And it's making you ask questions, right? But you can't red pill everyone when you have a higher popularity. You do get taken out. Amy Eskridge, the scientist, rest in peace. She got taken out. She was telling everyone about the fields and plasma consciousness, some 0-point energy stuff, right? David Wilcox got taken out. Rest in peace as well. Even Shoshana Strook, she got taken out for telling everyone that Jeffrey Epstein is actually still alive in Israel. You know, they keep taking you out, friends. I mean, like, there's 450,000 coincidences. Not coincidences anymore. You know, you're an actual cuck if you think they're coincidences. Go back to your blue pill cuck Matrix normie life. That's the blue pill world. But the red pill world, it's harsher. It seems cruel, but it sets you free. Unfortunately, though, if you have a high popularity count, you can't red pill the world. You can't even hint about it. They take you out. That's why I'm wondering how long Michael Saylor is going to keep telling people that Bitcoin ETFs manipulate Bitcoin. Probably because it hasn't become a popular meme and no one's really speaking about it except me. Then they're not really going to run with it. But it is ironic because it's the same octopus and it's got multiple tentacles. One of the tentacles is manipulating it through the ETF. Okay, because that's what they do, friends. Because to put it bluntly, okay, just to show you a cute diagram, okay, friends, Bitcoin, remember, Bitcoin is on, if you're right here, Bitcoin is on the CME exchange, okay, and Bitcoin is also on Coinbase, right, and they have leverage, okay, they give you leverage. So this is where Bitcoin is, and you just write BTC here, okay, it is on there. Now to sell, okay, to sell on here, you need credits. To, right? But who gives you credits? You got to think about it. Okay, the exchange gives you credits. Okay, but you need collateral to sell. So what do they accept for collateral? Okay, well, Deep State, what they do is put a right finger pointing emoji. They accept, here we go, drum roll please, US Treasuries, which you print, okay? Which you print anyway, okay? So what I basically I've shown you here with this, if you follow along, to short Bitcoin on these exchanges, to get the borrowing power to actually damage it, yes, they accept US Treasuries. They accept money which the banks print. It's like you literally are the monopoly money house. You just make the money, you just give it somewhere and they give you the power. Now you can damage it. You see? That's how they manipulate through it. Now, this is not normal. Because normally, okay, to sell stuff, you would have to put, say, pristine collateral that you can't manipulate out of thin air. As you got to see recently with Kelp DAO and the hack with Aave, when they damaged Aave, because they were able to just take the money in the bridge and put it somewhere and actually get the credits for it. But this is how they do the manipulation. So that's what they do. So when they sell Bitcoin and it gets absorbed, which is what happens, they run out of shorting power. They go, oh crap, we need to be able to sell another 100,000 to Bitcoin and manipulate it. But we need more credits. You go, I know what we'll do. We'll just go to our money printer, press a button, give ourselves more money, and just send the digital units to Coinbase. And they give us the credits. You see? And that's how they manipulate everything down. Okay, that's also and by the way, how do we even know this? Because of gold and silver. They do this on gold and silver, friends. That's where it all comes from. The playbook comes from gold and silver. That's how they are able to keep a lid on this. Like I say, it's ironic that one hand, the tentacles are manipulating, but the other hand is giving Michael Saylor more money to buy it. Very interesting. Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? I want you to think about it. It's because this is speculation. They think it's their Bitcoin. Right? That's why they're doing it. They're manipulating the price down in one way, and they're giving him money to go buy. Okay, you see? You might say, but how's it their Bitcoin? It's his Bitcoin. Yeah. When you get liquidated, it's not your Bitcoin anymore. It's their Bitcoin. You might say, oh, but he's not going to get liquidated yet. You don't know that. You don't know that. Michael Saylor has no off button. See? He's like an alcoholic. You don't know when to put down the bottle. So you put down the bottle when you actually pass out because you've drank too much. You're cooked. Do you get it now? Michael Saylor is a drunken auto buying bot. He will just buy with as much money as they give him out. He does not care about the promises. He doesn't. Friends, Michael Saylor doesn't believe in a 4-year cycle or downside risk or any of that stuff. Okay? There's no off button. It's just always on. As long as he can find money, he's buying it. Now, some might say that is ultimate convicted belief. Yes, it is ultimate convicted belief. But you got to remember, dude, these are public open markets. They trade at the margin. This is why it gets dangerous. It's ironic that Michael Saylor is being handed money by Wall Street Ponzi printer, which will circle him like vultures later on as they liquidate the Bitcoin stash in a future cycle. I don't know when it's going to happen. Right now, they can't do it, I hope, because you need to put it down to about $8,000 Bitcoin price for about 4 or 5 years. But eventually, they will take it. That's how they do it, friends, because that's how they do it. With all our clients and customers, that's all the banks are doing. They just keep handing you leverage. You eventually say yes. Someone says it. You shouldn't do it, but other people say yes. They know they hand out 100 people credit and margin. 15 people say yes. 15 people take on the leverage. They just keep doing it. As long as it's there, they just keep doing it. And guess what happens? As the price goes up, more people want the leverage. They want the margin. They want to get in. And then what happens when the price goes down? They get mogged. That's what happens. So friends, what happens is if Bitcoin's price goes up and everyone's taking on leverage and loans, then there's something that's really vicious that might come. And right here, all these liquidations, they go from all the clients and customers into the hands of the banks. That's how they yield farm everyone. They take it for themselves. So it's very nasty actually, because you are a future weak hand, but you don't know it yet. That's why it's very nasty. Let me say that again. You are a future weak hand and you don't know it yet. You think you're buying low as a strong hand, but someone's going to be a victim later on. So the people buying Bitcoin, 70, 60, 50, 60, 70,000, they think they're future strong hands. But actually, when we go up, they're future weak hands. They will be taking on more leverage. They don't know it yet. They don't know that. They know someone will. And then eventually they get wiped and the big transfer happens right here. And that's when they scoop it up. And now, so this is how sad it is. You bought cheap Bitcoin, right? And you're a future victim because you're going to hand it to the banks. You're buying the Bitcoin now. That's what Michael Saylor is doing, by the way. Isn't that nasty? Every Bitcoin Michael Saylor buys is one less Bitcoin that an actual mega strong hand who's never going to do leverage buys. You get it? So there's 2 people in a room. One of them is Michael Saylor. Let's say the other person is Satoshi himself. Yeah. Every Bitcoin Michael Saylor buys is another Bitcoin going into the hands of the Wall Street because he's going to keep doing on the leverage. The leverage is the key. That's the danger. That's how they get you. Some people get it. Some people don't. I hope they don't liquidate him now. I don't think they will. I think we're in the clear. But one day, friends, that's why we've got to be careful. One day, he's going to make an offer he can't refuse to himself, and it's going to be too big. Like, subscribe, catch you in the next one.